Hey, I'm gonna do a instructional art video today because I have time for that today, and I just wanted to show you a way that I've been making mandalas. I love doing mandalas. I use them in my artwork a lot. The first time I heard about them was when I was in art therapy school. We used them. Joan Kellogg was someone we studied who used them in therapy. Had people draw mandalas as a way to express themselves, and the circle is kind of a symbol of the self. But mandalas are actually seen everywhere. There's on the front of my zine I made is a Tibetan mandala, and it's a prayer wheel type mandala. Different cultures use sand, colored sand, to make mandalas. There's different representations in Native American art. That's super bright. I'm not sure what to do with that. There. And also in Christianity, there's the rose window from a cathedral. So there's lots of different examples. This little zine is one that I made, and if you want to learn more about mandalas and get fun mail, just personal message me your address and I'll send you one for free. It's got a mandala you can color inside of it and some information on mandalas. They sell a lot of mandala coloring books, so you might have seen them before. Some are really intricate designs, some are a little more simple, and because it's a circular pattern, some people believe it's just kind of a calming activity, and it's kind of, the circle is a symbol of completion or a whole, so when you finish it, it's like this complete circle. Here's a mandala that I did with watercolor and liquid masking fluid. So it's kind of it's symmetrical, radial symmetry from the center. People call that Zentangle sometimes. So I also have a couple other ones that are not just drawn, but this is more of a collaged mandala that's done with some rubber stamps that I made and drawing on black and on white. Here's a mandala that's collaged out of decorative paper, and there's a couple other. There's a layered mandala that's like different pages that kind of peek through. So I like the symbolism that can be on mandalas. You might also, these are seen a lot nowadays for decoration, and this was actually a stencil. So there's lots of examples of mandalas. And to kind of break it down a little bit and make it less work, you might be like, oh gosh, how am I going to draw all those lines and get all that detail in there? I've been doing it a way where you have like pieces of the pie, and we're going to do our design on one little piece of the pie and then use carbon paper to transfer it to our entire mandala. So there'll be 8 different sections. So I'm going to move my iPad here so you can see what I'm doing. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see what I'm doing. I think we're okay. Okay. All right, so what I did first was traced a circle onto my paper. And because I like to use watercolor paints and maybe some wet art materials, I used kind of a thicker paper. A multimedia paper or watercolor paper is good. And I traced it just with pencil. And later I might go back in with a Sharpie to outline. But right now I just want to get my design in place. So I'll do the next part last. So I traced this on a regular piece of paper like this, And I folded the paper once, twice, and 3 times so that I can get it divided into 8 separate pie shapes. And then I cut one pie shape out because that's all I need to worry about designing. So I wanted to keep it simple, so I just did a little design with 3 basic symbols. I did a little flower, a little rock cairn for balance, and then a little namaste sign. And so that's going to be my design, and it's going to be repeated all the way around. So I cut my carbon paper. You could find carbon paper at office supply stores. If you would like, you can private message me your address, and I'll send you not only the mandala zine, but a piece of carbon paper, because it's a long story, but I have a lot of carbon paper. So I cut this to shape so that I can kind of see where I lay it, because when I lay it down, I'm going to follow that curve. And I'm just going to mark where the paper hits. Okay? So I'm just going to go ahead and with my pencil trace over the elements of my design. And the carbon paper is you don't have to press really hard or anything. It transfers pretty easily. And it's okay if it moves a little bit, because it doesn't really matter. This is just getting the design into place, and I'm going to add color and all kinds of stuff on top of it. So I'm not going to worry about pencil marks or anything. So as you can see, that's pretty dark. It transfers it plenty dark, so you can see. Now I'm just going to line it up, and I drew a little pencil mark there. So I'm going to line it up again right on the curve. If you want, you could maybe make a little dot where the center will be. So you can also make a mandala that is not symmetrical. You can just draw inside of a circle anything that you want. I've really liked this type of methodical process, because I like the repetition and I like how it looks balanced when you're done, because you've got a similar pattern or symbols that are repeating, and it kind of just feels more harmonious and balanced. So I really like this process of the tracing. It's kind of relaxing. All right, so you can see I'm progressing around the circle. It's not too hard, and I might paint first my shapes and designs, or use colored pencil, markers, and then at the end, I just happen to like the black outlines, so I might take a Sharpie and go over my lines when I'm done, just because I like a nice heavy outline on things. Not everybody likes that. Or I might just take, when I'm done tracing, take a Sharpie and go over everything right away. The Sharpie will not smear if you use wet art materials. All right, so as you see, that's not taking too long. And I will go ahead and fill it in and show you what it looks like later. the one that I have started working on. This was my design. So I kind of had 3 elements and then I added in a few little details. And I did this on a really big piece of paper. I had some nice big 14 by 14 paper. So I used a really big plate. You can also use a compass. So I started, if I could talk about what I did a little bit. I got my whole design in using the carbon paper. And then I went ahead and used a Sharpie and I traced all my lines. So it was kind of like a coloring book, all ready to color in. I used watercolor, and I wasn't really happy with how it was laying. Like, I think up here you can kind of see it was kind of uneven. The watercolor was just, I wasn't happy with how it looked, and so I went in with watercolor pencils, and I just started scribbling in a circle just to add texture and to cover up some of those inconsistent different shades I was getting, because it was driving me nuts. So I was kind of trying to blend purple and blue a little bit. And I just got started on the sun and the moon. I have some metallic markers I just picked up at Target. So I was messing around with those. You can see I did the leaves on the tree with the metallic too. They're kind of glowing a little bit. So I'm gonna finish filling that in. So I like it how the colored pencil made it look a little bit more filled in, or like it had a little texture to it. But anyway, so that's what I've been working on. If you have any questions, just comment below. And if I can get you a little mandala zine. Zines are like little magazines or little books. And this one is just kind of has some information about different types of mandalas. And I can get you some carbon paper if you want, so you can make your very own mandala. And if you do some mandalas, post them in the comments so we can see what they look like. So thank you for tuning in. Bye.